While hardly a fully accepting world, we do live in a period of time where it's at least acknowledged that there are people of different orientations or preferences in regards to who they love. For the longest time, it was widely condemned if you were anything but straight in the world's eyes. It was seen as unnatural or even evil. In places like Hollywood, many stayed in the closet so that they wouldn't be blackballed by the industry and called out by those who saw them as some kind of a monster. As such, when certain celebrities do come out as gay, bi, or some other part of the LGBTQIA+ spectrum, it can cause a stir in both the industry and the fan bases they have. Allow us the chance to show you some of these people. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. 7. Tom Hardy. We're going to start off with one that you might not expect, as it's very much a modern actor who has done some incredible work over the last 2+ decades. If you were to ask us what part of the LGBTQIA+ spectrum Tom Hardy is, we honestly couldn't tell you, because he doesn't like the various labels that are put upon the people in the spectrum. However, he himself has defined himself by the term open-minded. That might seem vague, but the reason this works on this list is because he's played various characters over his career that are gay or other parts of the community, and he's done his best to be open and vocal about the importance of not only having these roles, but having them portrayed in a way that is both meaningful and valid to the actual people he's representing. Case in point, he played a gay man in the movie The Revenant and was praised for the portrayal. If you're unsure of why all of this is important, the answer is simple: validity. In today's world especially, there are many who would rather just deny that the LGBTQIA+ community exists versus getting to know them, see their perspectives on things, and understand why they are being hurt by other people just for who they are. So, to hear someone like Tom Hardy, who has been in numerous blockbuster films and now TV series, and has been a standout in Hollywood for some time now, standing up for them and doing his best to represent them fairly, shows that there are people everywhere who truly care and want others to be cared about too. 6. Cary Grant. And now, let's go old school. When it came to the golden age of Hollywood, both the men and the women who held down the biggest roles on the big screen were expected to look and act a certain way. You know, a true leading man or woman persona. And Cary Grant was that to a T. He was by and large one of the biggest names that Hollywood ever had, and he was a draw with pretty much every film that he did. Plus, he lived the Hollywood life by having many relationships and many marriages. But even while he was dominating Hollywood with films like North by Northwest, To Catch a Thief, An Affair to Remember, and many, many more, people were wondering if he really was the straight man that he tried to portray when in public. Grant was one of many actors in Hollywood who went to great lengths to have a cultivated and precise public image, and that included how people saw him in relationships with women. However, many believe, with much evidence to back them up, that he was actually bisexual. This is backed up by the fact that he did once live with a man in a domestic setting, and rumors of his bisexual nature continued after his death. Do we know for certain that he was that way? No, but it does say a lot that the rumors persisted, and all his marriages with women failed in a way that doesn't exactly read as old Hollywood. Even without these answers, Cary Grant dominated his time in Hollywood and proved that it didn't matter if you were straight, gay, or bi, you could be a presence on screen that people wanted to see. 5. Anderson Cooper. While the last two have been a bit of a gray area in some respects, our next person is 100% part of the LGBTQIA+ community, and he has been proud to be vocal about it since coming out in 2012. Anderson Cooper, if you didn't know, actually came from a very wealthy family, which could have led to a much different life for him. Instead, though, he wanted to be part of the news world, and that's exactly what he did. He started on local news and then worked his way up to CNN and other TV networks. Fast forward to 2025, and he's one of the most respected people in all of news, doing whatever he can to promote the truth and nothing but. In 2012, he sent a letter to a friend admitting that he was gay and had always known that. That letter, with his permission, was published to the world, and he became a key cultural icon in the LGBTQIA+ community. Why? Because he had been doing his job for years without issue, without fail, and it didn't matter what orientation he was. Naturally, some people tried to bring down his coming out, stating that he only did it once he was already locked into his career, which is not only stupid to say, but it shows a clear bias toward that community. Coming out, as Cooper would note, is a personal journey, and everyone can only come out when they're ready. Cooper continues to do shows on CNN, while also working for trusted news programs like 60 Minutes. He is proof that a gay man can be on TV regularly and not be a stereotype, and can fight for what is truly right in this world. In many ways, we are lucky to have him. 4. Liberace. Let's now head to the world of music. Here, arguably, we've had numerous people come out over the years and highlight that the power of your voice isn't confined because of whether you like men, women, or neither. Starting in the 1950s, Liberace was one of the world's most famous entertainers. He wouldn't just charm you on the piano, he would wear the most outlandish outfits you ever saw, and yet would rock every single one of them. Why? Because he could. When you add that to his trademark candelabra and his personality, and you have someone who stands the test of time and was an icon of his era. On screen, he was known as a ladies' man and had plenty of women on his arms. Off screen, he was private and fought hard to keep it that way. However, as time went on, it was clear that he was gay, and when people called him out for it, he actually tried to sue them for it. That was the era he lived in, though. He didn't want that perception to affect his career, and while sad, it's understandable. Later on, it was widely accepted he was gay, and a bold movie portrayed this via Behind the Candelabra, where Liberace was played by Michael Douglas. While he may never have admitted who he was, he remains a music icon that will stand the test of time. 3. Lady Gaga. It's about time to let the ladies have their fun, right? And who better to talk about than Lady Gaga? Hers is a story that is most interesting, including being someone so outlandish with her style, personality, and more that you can just look at Gaga and go, yeah, she's on that spectrum. Sure enough, she's openly come out as bisexual, but just as important, she is someone who wants each member of the community to stand up for themselves. In one interview, she noted that she doesn't represent the LGBTQIA+ community because they don't need me to represent them. In other words, celebrity members are nice, but the community is the most important thing, and they are the reason she is who she is. She supports radical love and wants the hatred that keeps hounding the community to be a thing of the past. We definitely support her on that front. 2. Elton John. We're kind of on a musical kick, so how about we keep it going and just let the musicians finish off the list, huh? Elton John, not unlike Liberace, was a musical genius who is known not just for his voice, but his performances on stage and the incredible outfits that he's worn over the years. His life has had numerous ups and downs, and he's more than willing to admit them. Just as important, though, he has been an incredibly vocal advocate for the LGBTQIA+ community because he's one of them. At first, he tried to just say he was bisexual, but over time, he openly admitted he was gay, and then became someone who tried to help and encourage those who were struggling with coming out about their orientation. To help back this up, he not only had a biopic movie starring real-life friend Taron Egerton called Rocket Man that delved into the many struggles of being a gay man in his life, but has happily showed off his gayness in films like Kingsman: The Golden Circle with a smile on his face. He knows that he has had it easier than most due to his fame, but he's also trying to be someone that the community can look up to and know that there is someone who cares for them and wants them to be happy no matter who they love. 1. Freddie Mercury. There's only one man whom we can end this list on, and that's the one and only Freddie Mercury. The leading man of Queen, Freddie Mercury remains one of the greatest voices the world has ever heard. Seriously, who else could belt out notes like him and make it look so easy? And not unlike other musical artists of his era, he was never afraid to be flashy, energetic, and a truly phenomenal presence on stage that made everyone want to go and see him perform. If you watch the movie biopic Bohemian Rhapsody, you know where this is going to go. Freddie did have relationships with women, but then, after he realized he was gay, he had numerous relationships with men, the most famous of whom was Jim Hutton, whom was featured in the movie. This is another case where Mercury didn't openly admit it, but everyone knew. Just as important, he wasn't ashamed of it. It was just he didn't talk about it. And given how he died, that wasn't a surprise. He died of AIDS, which he likely contracted via one of his male partners, for during that period the gay community was getting hit hard by the AIDS virus. His death was nothing short of tragic, but there was a small silver lining in that when people learned he died of AIDS, it sent a rallying cry of sorts to learn more about it and try to stop it from both spreading and see if it could be treated. Freddie Mercury remains one of the greatest to ever grace the musical stage. And while we have no doubt he would have loved to have lived longer and be there for his fans, he'd be just as honored knowing that he's still beloved to this day. And that's all from the realm of Hollywood and the people both past and present who have come out as members of the LGBTQIA+ community. Were you shocked to hear that some of these people swing that way? Which of them did you know about before watching this video, or do you know of another that would fit on this list? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.